everybody, happy Teen G Tuesday. It's Gianna and I am really excited about this video. So this video is a very personal account of pretty much everything that I did on Disney Cruise Line when I was a fairy godmother in training on the Disney Dream. So I took every picture and video that I had on my photo library and I put it all into a massive video for you, and I'm gonna go through and kind of just explain everything that's in here. So I'm really excited about it. I hope you guys really like it. It's really gonna give you an in-depth look on everything that happened while I was on my contract. So here we go. So these first couple pictures are from when I arrived to Orlando for shoreside training. I arrived October 17th, 2017, and I stayed in Orlando for 3 days before embarking on the Disney Dream on October 20th, 2017. There's a picture of me enjoying my time on shoreside training and a video explaining every single thing I did in shoreside training, all the classes I took, and things like that. So I'm back again, looking like trash again, but Traditions is over. Day one of cruise line training is done, and I am officially a cast member again. Or well, I guess I'm a crew member now, but I'm excited. So our papers told us to meet in the lobby at 7 a.m. So I woke up at 6, we met in the lobby at 7. At 7:30, 2 recruiters rolled in. They asked us to line up and they looked at our passports, and then they looked us over to make sure we were meeting all those Disney look guidelines, which obviously I was because your girl took her nose ring out today. So then we had a break, which I thought was really weird, and then we got on the bus at like 8:15. So it was a lot of like wasted time this morning, which was kind of annoying. And then we got to Disney University at like 8:45, and then we started Traditions at 9. Traditions for cruise line was basically exactly the same as any other Traditions. It was 8 hours long, and the first 4 hours we talked about the 4 keys and the heritage of the company, and then we got to go into Magic Kingdom and look for the 4 keys, and then we came back to DU. There were 8 people in my Traditions class, and 4 of them were living on Castaway, so only 4 of them were actually going on the ship with me on Thursday. We were told all day that we were going to be told what is coming next, but we were not told what's coming next. What I do know is that I have to wake up at 7 a.m. again tomorrow, and I work until noon in some unknown class. I also found out that on embarkation day, we have to wake up and leave for port at 5 in the morning. I made a friend, and her name is Rochelle, and she's amazing, and I'm so excited to spend the next 6 months with her. She's not my roommate or anything. She works in the restaurant, but it's really nice to meet another girl, and she's my age and stuff, so that's cool. So now that I have my blue IDs, I could go into the park, and I'm going to go to Epcot and hang out with my parents, and then me and my new cruise line friends are going to go watch the fireworks tonight. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, I just got out of my last shoreside training class called Charting Your Course. It was a 4-hour class this morning, and I didn't know I was going to that class till I literally got there and sat down. I've asked so many questions the whole time I've been here about what we're doing next, what's happening, and everybody keeps saying to me, just go with the flow. But I don't want to. I want to know what's happening. Anyway, the class was 4 hours long, and I've gotten a total of 3.5 hours of sleep over the past 3 days that I've been here. I'm really tired, and I really wasn't in the mood, and literally it was the same information that we got at Traditions. We mostly just talked about shoreside operations, and we went through a woman's letter that she wrote to Disney about how her cruise went. So it's just like a positive letter being like, this is why it was so great to be at the airport. This is why it was so great to like leave my baggage with cruise line. This is why the kids clubs were so great. And we kind of just like talked about each aspect of the cruise line. The number one thing I'm most frustrated about since being here is that I'm getting so much conflicting information. Everybody I ask about anything gives me a different answer, period. So last week when I was on the Magic, I talked to girls from Boutique about the role, and they said it was a great role because it's one of the only roles that you can go into all the guest areas. And when you do training, you get to watch all of the theater shows. Today when I asked my teacher the same questions, she told me that I could not go into any guest areas at all, and she also told me I would not be watching any shows for training, and I probably would never see a show ever. So they did provide us transportation to the class, but the bus on the way home was going to Epcot, not Pop Century. They weren't going to take us back. They were just dropping us at the park. So basically, I still have literally no idea what's going on. And when I tried to ask questions, my teacher told me that I should just chill out and go with the flow. If you watch my shoreside videos, that are some of the first videos that I posted when I was on cruise line, my mom actually was in Florida during my shoreside training days. So here's a picture of me saying goodbye to my mom. I made a friend during training named Rochelle, and she had never been to Target before, and we had to go get work shoes, so we went to Target, and here are some videos from her first trip.
First ever Target trip!
Are you excited?
Very excited.
What do you think it's gonna be like?
I don't know, it looks massive.
It's a super Target.
A super Target. Not only is it a Target, it's a super Target.
We're pretty excited. First steps. The next morning was embarkation morning, and we had to be up at, I think, 4 in the morning. And this is a video of what my luggage looked like compared to Rochelle's. My luggage, Rochelle's luggage. It was literally so embarrassing to bring my luggage on the boat because I had so much more than everybody else, but I used everything I had and I don't regret anything. I just wish I had maybe 2 smaller suitcases instead of 1 giant one. It was also over 100 pounds, so I had to have my trainer bring it to my room for me. Of course, the famous embarkation picture of Mickey Mouse and our training group. And then we got to go watch Sail Away, which was so exciting. We got to do it as a group. Later that night, we all got to go to the mess together, and we had an argument over what we call pool, like the game pool. What do you call pool?
Sinuca in Portuguese.
And how does she call pool?
Sinuca, like Harry Potter.
How do you call pool?
Snooker.
How do I call pool?
Pool?
This is my bedroom, and I loved my bedroom so much. Like, I loved my bottom bunk. I always had a rotation of roommates, so it was really nice that I never had to get annoyed of anybody because they were always coming and leaving very quickly. And I got the bottom bunk, which was awesome, and you can close the curtains and just be in your little tiny cubby hole, and it seems so small, but you really learn to appreciate these spaces because you get no time alone. So any little spot you have to yourself is a very important spot on cruise line. Next, you're gonna see all of my costumes. So the very first picture is of me during training. So once you are done with shoreside training and you get on the boat, you have many more days of training and you have to be in Disney look. So here's a picture of me in Disney look. And then for the fun stuff, we have my fairy godmother in training costume, my pirate night costume, my loading costume, which is what we used on embark mornings and debark days to load new merchandise onto the ship. And then my welcome line costume, which is what we wear when we are in welcome line, which is when we clap when people come on the ship. So we're still in my pretty early training days, and during these days we get to do a lot of things. They kind of wine and dine you before they push you into the real ship life. So we got to go up to Cabanas with our trainer to just kind of see what it was, and we all got to eat there, which was so cool, and we got to see Castaway for the first time as crew members. My very first cruise ever as a crew member, I didn't have a roommate, which is totally unheard of, but I guess the girl that was supposed to be there never showed up. So I was by myself for a whole 4 days, which was so awesome. But that day that we went to Castaway, me and Rochelle went back to the room and we were horrified because we wanted to take a nap and we had been sleeping in there because she would sleep on the top, I would sleep on the bottom, but there was a suitcase, so I had a roommate. Me and Rochelle just walked into from Cabanas to the scariest sight we've ever seen. I have a new roommate. I have a new roommate and I don't know anything about her and I'm scared. So we're gonna have a nap now since Rochelle can't go on the top bunk.
What kind of person would have a hard plastic blue case?
I wish I knew. So when you're training on cruise line, you're tired all the time. So when we get 30 minutes breaks, we go back to the cabin and have a nap. But now that I have a roommate, we're both on the bottom bunk. snuggled in. Cheerio.
Toodaloo.
In between trainings, we would constantly sleep because it was basically an all-day thing, and we would get little breaks in between. And my roommate ended up being a girl who got medically debarked from Castaway, so she only stayed in my room for one night, and then I was by myself again. Break between our classes, and we came back to take a rest because this is the reality of crew life.
I can't do this anymore.
Hey, you want some more?
I'm eating and sleeping at the same time.
Want some more? Alright, we gotta go back.
Water.
The next morning was immigration, and what immigration is when you wake up at 5 in the morning, or 4 rather, you have to be off the boat at 5, and you have to go through Port Canaveral and go through immigration, which is where they kind of look at your passport. I'm not really sure what exactly they do, but you have to be up so early and it's terrible. So we walked through Port Canaveral and we got to see it empty, and then we got to go back on the ship. So besides sleeping, the other thing Michelle and I tried to do during those first training days was work out. And that lasted for just a little bit, because once you're working all day long, the last thing you want to do when you get off is go to the gym. What are you doing?
Putting on a sweat.
How come? So these next videos are from our first day on Castaway together as a training group, and we all got to go take an island tour, and then we got to go to the crew beach, which was really exciting to do for the first time, and we were all pretty hyped up. At this point, we hadn't worked yet. We had still only been through training. Are you having fun? Heath, are you having fun?
I'm having a really good time.
What's going on right now?
Don't swear.
First time at Castaway, your new home. Are you excited?
This is fun.
The
We're having
Bahamas.
fun.
The Bahamas is so much fun, guys.
Yay!
Woo!
Oh. It's a good time on Castaway. Good day to be crew lifing.
Wait.
Hashtag crew life.
Oh!
Woo!
Scary scene from Little Mermaid.
Spooky. For the montage is all. This is a photo of mixed vegetables from the crew mess. It's actually just wet French fries, but it was labeled mixed vegetables. I guess a potato is a vegetable, right? These are just some more shots from training. When we would have our breaks, we would go up to deck 4 and kind of look at the ocean, because we were all still in awe that we were living on a cruise ship. We were like, oh my gosh, we live in the ocean. This is crazy. So we were just kind of hanging out on deck 4. When we first got on the ship, our traditions group was like super close. We were obsessed with each other, and it was really nice because there were 6 of us all together, and we all got along very well. But 2 of the boys were going to the island, so we were gonna lose them soon. But the exciting thing was they got temporary rooming, which meant that they got to stay in a guest room. So we all hung out in the guest rooms, and it was so fun. Did you get them from the crew? I've never seen Ghana so happy, honestly.
I don't think I like pretzels.
We all got to get off on Nassau in the Bahamas, which was pretty cool. We just walked around and got some food because we were pretty much over the mess at this point. It started raining really bad, and we went to a really expensive Greek restaurant. That was one of the only times I ever got off on the ship. We had so much time off during training, and it was easy to like all go together, hang out with your friends, do that kind of thing. That wasn't the case once we actually started working. So nights consisted of us basically getting piss drunk. We weren't really working at all.
What's wrong? It's the Look. Get it?
Why are you using the camera to get it? How much have you two had to drink?
And I've got chocolate on my mouth.
We were really just doing training classes, so at night we would go to the crew bar. There was also a hurricane coming in at this point, but it wasn't bad enough to deter our like itinerary or anything like that. It was just like extremely rainy. And if you were standing in the crew bar outside, like you were getting soaking wet.
Buongiorno, Felipe, mi amore, oh. Come ti chiami, Ahid? E come ti chiamo, Felipe?
Halloween rolled around about 10 days after I was on board, and there was a big Halloween party, and our traditions group went together, and I went as a little girl from the Bippity Boppity Boutique who got transformed. I wore the little bun and the little tiara, the face gem. It was pretty cute. On my downtime, I like to go up to deck 11 and read or get ice cream at Vanellope's. It was hard though because all of my friends that I had in traditions didn't have the same privileges as I did, so Rochelle couldn't come up with me. When we would get off on port days, we would take the bus to either Walmart or the Merritt Mall and get our nails done. As a group, we got to go up and watch Pirate Night fireworks together, which was so cool. So the whole first week we get to watch all the shows, we get to watch everything they do on the deck, Sail Away, Pirate Night, all of that good stuff, because they want us to know what we offer the guests so that when we're doing our job we can do it better because we know what is going on in the ship. But then they threw us into the tough stuff. First things first, I was sent down to shops. So I spent the first 2 weeks of my contract working in the stores right outside of the Walt Disney Theater. That's where I met my trainer, Sophia. She was so sweet, and throughout my entire contract, one of my very best friends, still to this day, very close to me. She taught me everything I needed to know, and I didn't take any pictures really in that time, but when I was almost done with my 2 weeks in shops, I got my very first welcome line shift. And during a welcome line shift, you get off at 8 p.m. rather than 10. That means you can apply for a dinner at Apollo. So we did, and Sophia and I got it, along with 2 of our other friends, one from shops, one from Bippity Boppity Boutique. So these are some pictures of us enjoying our dinner at Apollo.
Chocolates. Do a little hole on all of them. So good. This is the best dessert ever.
I hope you guys really enjoyed part 1 of my photo diary. I'm just excited to keep this forever as like a capsule of memories. It's really cool. So I have 2 more parts coming for you and tons more pictures and videos. If you like this photo diary, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications so that you can be aware when posts 2 and 3 come out. And I'm very excited to share this all with you guys. Happy Teensy Tuesday. Bye.